I'm Bren Herrera from Washington, D.C. I'm a private chef and food and travel writer, exploring the world through food. I love to cook and I love to make people feel really good, and that's something that my mom passed down to me from the time that I was a little girl. In our Cuban home, everything happens in the kitchen, and I say this to whomever wants to know why I love to cook. You know, being Cubanita, raised in DC, it was very important that my mom kind of kept our culture alive, and the best way that she was able to do that was through la comida. So food was always and still is the center of our culture, the center of our love expression. It's our love language. So I did not know that I would be cooking professionally and traveling the world exploring food. Not at all. Like, I was going to be a singer, I was going to be traveling the world performing on stage. Unfortunately, I was able to do that. I sang in DC, I sang in Atlanta, I sang in Europe, which was such a blessing, and I really got to see what touring was like on a bus all day, going from city to city, doing gospel, jazz, R&B. But the food just kind of again fell into my lap in 2005. A chance encounter to cook for some really special people, but I've always been cooking. I've always loved to entertain and have friends over, and my friends were always asking for recipes, so I just naturally fell into that. But absolutely not, food was not something that I thought I was going to do, and the singing, when it didn't work out, I was going to fall back into my law experience because it's what I actually went to school for, funny enough. So I worked as a paralegal for 11 years in DC, and I loved it. I thrived in legal work. I loved legal rhetoric. I loved going to court and deposing clients and kind of doing research and all that stuff. I got laid off in 2005, and I was shocked because I was doing really well at what I did, and I was actually getting ready to make a lateral move to another law firm. So it was an epiphanous moment. I was like, I'm not going back to corporate. Like, this is my opportunity to get out of this and do what I want to do and chase my dreams. I didn't have a lot of money saved. I had no idea what I was going to get into. I didn't know if it was going to be fashion, food, music, travel. I just knew that I did not want to go back to working for anybody else. So I prayed. I didn't go to my interview the next day to another law firm, and here I am, literally 12 years later. I took a huge leap of faith and prayed my way through it, and just kind of worked my way through every day, learning as much as I could and committing to myself that I deserved to live the life that I wanted to live and not what somebody else thought I could do for myself. I've been saying as of late that the only way that you're going to be successful is if you take risks, and you absolutely have to be afraid. If you're not afraid, you're not going to push the envelope. So do something that really scares you, and find your passion, whatever it is that you're passionate about. It could be advocacy, it could be fashion, it could be travel, it could be mommyhood, whatever it is. Find your passion, find your voice, and then be really, really consistent, because when you're consistent, people will gravitate to the fact that you love what you do, and it's going to receive whatever you put out there. So if you project positivity, if you project strength and courage, you're going to get that back. And that's the best thing that I can tell you, having done this for myself for 12 years. Be courageous, believe in yourself, and everybody around you that sees that will give it back to you. So I just published a book a couple of months ago, Modern Pressure Cooking, which was a dream project. Again, something that fell into my lap, and it's doing really well, and that's now allowed me to start working on my second book, which I will share kind of later on down the road through social media what the concept is. But I'm really excited because it's going to get to the root and the core of my existence and my spirit and my soul, being an Afro-Latina, particularly Cuban. I've got some really big TV stuff in the works. I just signed a really big contract a couple of weeks ago. So I've got a whole bunch of stuff going on with TV, but again, all related to travel and food. So House of Bren kind of incorporates all of that. So you can find me at Bren Herrera everywhere, and BrenHerrera.com is where all of my writing and photography is curated.